Hello, my loves. So today is Scary Story Sunday, and I'm just kept catching up on my spooky pop culture, because I love pop culture, and I love spooky, and you know this, don't you? Okay, so I have picked a story for tonight, and it is from one of my favorite books that I love to read horror stories from. It's Horror's 365 Scary Stories. Get your daily dose of terror. And I did happen to find a short story about a vampire or vampires. So yeah, this Sunday we are all about vampires. I didn't have a vampire shirt, so I wore Frankie. Frankie's pretty fucking cool if you ask me. Yeah. Someone had requested that I do something about vampires, and I wish I had more stuff on vampires just ready to go, which I'm definitely going to be buying some things for that, because next to witches, vampires are actually my second favorite. So I definitely need more vampire stuff. Alright, let's get into it. So, I'm reading you the story. It is called Hunger, and it is written by Michael A. Burstein. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. I'm not sure. Hopefully I didn't butcher it. Huh? Get it? Butcher, hunger, vampire. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Rodolfo slowly pushed open the coffin from inside. The barest crack revealed no light emanating from outside, so he pushed the cover all the way open. The hinges squeaked loudly from long years of disuse. Rodolfo sat up, brushed the soil from his clothes, and yawned. He ran his tongue over his teeth, confirming that the canines were still sharp and pointed. It felt so good to be awake and moving again. How long had he been asleep anyway? He stood up and checked the cryogenic equipment that he had attached to the coffin. He had set it for 1,000 years. He took a 1,000-year nap. Great. Okay. And as far as he could tell, the machine had woken him up exactly on time. Perfect. 1,000 years ago, Rodolfo had been one of very few vampires fighting the war against the living, the humans. Every sunset, Rodolfo would arise to find human victims to feed on for his hunger, afraid of being discovered for what he really was. And every sunrise, he had returned to his coffin to rest, just like every other vampire. They returned afraid that during the daytime, some intrepid Van Helsing type would drive a stake through his heart. Finally, he had had enough. He had enlisted the help of a physicist at Columbia University who had built him a cryogenic pump for his coffin. As payment, Rodolfo had made her his last meal before sleeping his sleep of the undead. But enough dwelling on the past. By now the war would be over and humanity would be defeated, right? All that remained was for Rodolfo to join up with his fellow undead once again, after, of course, finding a sniveling, cowering human from whom he could drink his fill of blood. He hadn't eaten in so long. We're talking 1,000 years, so he was fucking starving, basically. He emerged from his building's basement, and what he saw confused him greatly. He was right in the middle of a dark, moonless Manhattan night. Where were all the vampires? Where were all his people, living their unlives in celebration? He strained his neck to look around and spotted a dull, glowing pinprick of fire to the east. He headed toward it and discovered a small group of vampires huddled around a street corner. Their faces looked pallid, much paler than normal, and their eyes glowed without the sharpness Rodolfo expected. "Rodolfo?" one of them exclaimed. "Is that you? It cannot be." Although her voice was strong, she looked sickly and emaciated. The other vampires huddled closer and murmured to each other, "Yes, it is me. Who is that?" "It is I, Sabrina, your first victim and your first lover." What has happened to you? We thought you long defeated and destroyed for these 1,000 years past." "Sabrina?" Rodolfo felt wistful as he remembered the pleasure he had enjoyed when he sucked her dry. I was not destroyed, merely sleeping, waiting for the day when we would finally be victorious over the humans of the world. He looked around at the desolation. This is not what I expected. Oh? Said one of the other vampires. What did you expect? Rodolfo shrugged. A flourishing kingdom of vampires with humanity enslaved? Sabrina glared at Rodolfo, her eyes glowing deep red. The last human was converted over 100 years ago, Rodolfo. There are none left. None? Rodolfo was shocked. Did not one of us understand what this would mean? Human blood is our sustenance. Without humans to prey upon, he trailed off as understanding dawned. Sabrina grinned evilly. Now you understand why we look the way we do. There has been no fresh food for over a century. Rodolfo, cattle and other beasts died out when humans did. We cannot even look forward to the release of dying. For us, there is nothing left but hunger. How have you fed? She paused. We have been reduced to feeding upon each other and feeling our own lifeblood weakening as time goes on. But, my old lover, your own blood has been preserved for a millennium. It must taste so fresh. She approached Rodolfo slowly, the other vampires close behind, evil grins upon their faces to match hers. Sabrina, you would not! You did, my old friend. Rodolfo turned and ran, although he knew there was no escape, and there never ever would be, ever again. It's not looking good for vampires, guys. You know, they're there for eternity, for all of eternity. They should probably just walk into the sun at this point, you know. But, yeah. So that was a short story on vampires. It's kind of a sad, and creepy, and fucked up one. I don't know. I did write my own short horror story about vampires, and I can also try to find that. It's in my phone somewhere, and maybe post it in the comments, and you should read that if you haven't read it already. It is a 3-part story. Yeah, it was a pretty good one. I was super proud of it. It took me about a couple of weeks, I think, a week or two to write it, and it turned out really good. Anyways, I'm going to post it in the comments for you guys to read. And so yeah, I want to talk vampires. I want to know, I'm all ooh. I want to know, what is your favorite vampire story? Are you you know, straight Dracula? Are you Van Helsing? Okay, let's go with movies. Just forget about the books for a second. Let's go with movies. What are some of your favorite vampire movies of all times? Favorite TV shows? Favorite movies? Favorite stories of vampires? Anything vampire-wise, list it. Drop it. Drop it in the comments. I want to see some stuff. There might be some stuff out there that I haven't read yet or watched. I have also done a lot of vampire cosplay in the past. I absolutely love vampires, and so I'll drop some of those pictures in the comments too. Let me know what you think on that, and I can't wait. We've just started spooky season. Well, you know, for the normies, we started spooky season, but for us, it's always spooky season. It's spooky season in our heart all the time, all year round. So, yeah. Let me show you a couple of pictures here. Well, there's one. I know my ring light's kind of shining on it, but this is a cosplay I did years ago, and it's framed. It was a lot of fun, and it turned out so good. I have some other really good ones that I would like to show, so I'll find those and I'll drop those in the comments. Anyways, yeah, discussion time. All vampires, let's go. I will be back next week with, hopefully my books will be in the mail by then, so I got some really good things going on. I plan on doing a little bit of traveling this fall to some cemeteries, some haunted places around North Dakota, and reading Scary Story Sunday stories from the cemetery or wherever. So we're about to get fun. So I hope that you'll stay tuned. And I'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And yeah, stay spooky. Okay? Love you. Bye.